Put your finger down if you like cats. Put your finger down if you like animals in general. Put your finger down if you have a pet or you want to own a pet. Put your finger down if you think cats have massive personalities. And lastly, put your finger down if you think cats make all the rules and us humans are just living around them. Now, if you put one or more fingers down, you will love The Guest Cat by Takashi Hiraide. I loved it. I really did love this book, and I don't think it gets enough hype online, and I don't think its reviews do it justice. So I'm here today to hopefully persuade you to give this book a try. It is only 140 pages. It was originally written by a Japanese poet and it was translated by Eric Selland, I think in 2014. So in this video, I will go over the kind of themes this book explores, the overall plot of the book, and then what I liked about it and what I didn't like, because it wasn't a 5 out of 5 read for me. It was a 4-star. It wasn't like an extraordinary read. It was short, simple, and sweet. So if you're in the mood for that kind of read, this is for you, my friends. Some of the themes The Guest Cat explores is our affections towards animals and how animals can have such a big impact on our lives. And then also it covers a lot about cats' personalities. And I feel like if you have a cat or if you've been around cats in your life, you will find a lot of this quite relatable. And lastly, I feel like it also touches on the frustration of trying to just live a fulfilling life. Like, this couple is going through very realistic situations and they touch on a lot of hot topics like the renting market and trying to do your passion, also trying to have relationships with your neighbors, etc. It's not an easy ride, and I think it's very realistic, and I feel a lot of frustration throughout this book from the author Takashi. I don't know if other people would agree with me there, but yeah. So let's get into the plot of the book. So the story follows this married couple in their mid-30s and they're looking for somewhere to live, and they end up renting a cottage in this really unique area, and they come quickly acquainted with the neighbor's cat Chibi. Now, this couple's life is very mundane. They live quite normal lives and they're still trying to figure life out. But then Chibi comes along and she really does change their perspective on life and cats in general, because at the start of the book, this couple do not like cats, especially the wife. So it's really lovely to see their relationship with Chibi grow and strengthen throughout the book. And it's lovely to see how their life is slowly changed by Chibi. In all honesty, that's pretty much it. But I feel like if you know someone in your life who used to hate cats, and then once they spend time with a cat, they end up loving them. And I've had that experience a lot in my life because I've always been a cat lover. I've grown up with cats. However, my partner, he was always a dog person. And then when we ended up getting a cat, he's now like questioning whether he even ever wants a dog. So I found it quite relatable how people's perceptions on pets in general, but mainly cats, because they do have such big personalities. So it's always fun watching or reading the relationship grow between a person and a cat. Now, it did take me a while to get into this book. It is a very short book, and one thing I wish I knew before reading this is the fact that this book is actually based on a real life experience Takashi had with his wife and the neighbor's cat, Chibi. I'm not sure if he changed names or whatnot, but this is actually based off a real experience. And the book is a collection of his notes over the years and the interactions he had with the neighbor's cat. And now that I know that, and I know that he's a poet, the reading and the writing style makes so much more sense, because each chapter reads like a short story, and it is like a note, like more like a diary entry. And now that I know that, I feel like I could have got into the book a lot quicker. At the start, I was a bit like, what on earth is going on? Like, what is the story here? I didn't really understand the flow of the book. So it took me about 45 to 50 pages to get really into it. The rest of the book had me by a chokehold, and I really did love it. I went through a lot of emotions whilst reading it. So yeah, I wish I knew that before going into it. So now you know, so hopefully that might help improve your reading experience if you do decide to read this book. Because I'm always worried with short books like this, you've got to grip the person quite quickly, otherwise why would they continue reading it? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're not gripped 1/3 in, what's the likelihood that the rest of it's going to grip you? This book won't be for everyone because of that kind of writing style. It is very slice of lifey, so there's not much going on. However, I do so recommend this, and I'll go over quickly some of the main things I really loved about the book. Now, obviously, the main one has to be the emphasis and the description of cats. It really highlights how cats are the boss of their own lives. They do what they want to do, and then us as humans are just trying to win their affection and try to build that alliance and trust between them, because it is just so different from, I'm just going to do the obvious comparison, a dog, because a dog will love you. They have so much loyalty for minimal effort from you, whereas a cat, it's very similar to human relationships in the fact that you really, really have to work for that trust. And even if you have that trust, if the cat doesn't want to be petted or near you, they will have their own space. Like, they make the rules, and it explains that so well in this book. Definitely with the fact that it's not their cat. Chibi is owned by their neighbor, and it touches on the fact that they only see one side of Chibi. Chibi could act completely different with her own family. The next one is how easily an animal can affect your life and how impactful it can be. This isn't just cats. Like, all animals in general can have the biggest impact. Without you even wanting it, they can come into your lives and completely rock your world. I love the way the book goes into that with Chibi and how they didn't like cats before, and then these animals just come into their life and change their everyday mundane living into a bit more of an exciting life, something to look forward to, and just a new connection that the married couple can share. Then it's how personal and relatable the book is. I feel like I understand it way more now, knowing that it is an account of the author's experience. And because I own a cat, how relatable it was to me. And lastly, I think it highlights well that we should find the joy in little things. Life is busy. We can get locked down and just head down into gotta be making money, gotta be doing this, etc., etc. But I like how slow paced this book was in regards to just daily living, and how we should find joy in those little things dotted about, and how cats and just slight interactions with cats can have that effect. But I did rate it a 4 out of 5, not a 5 out of 5, because it isn't mind-blowing. It took me a while to get into, and because of that I was a little bit bored at the beginning, but I'm so glad I pushed through, because I ended up crying at the end of this book. I'm such a wet wipe when it comes to animals, seriously. It ends on kind of like a question or something that the author's still asking himself, so then it makes you ask yourself, if that makes any sense. If you've read the book, please let me know if you know what I'm talking about. So if you fancy it, do give this a try. I would like to know your opinions on it, if you have read it or if you plan to read it. Also, if you have any recommendations like this book, like short stories, slice of life, if it got cats in it, bonus mark, because I think these types of books are quite nice to read in between like thick fantasy, romantasy books. I finished quite a few other books recently. I've just finished the Shepherd King series. Oh my God, I freaking loved it. I can't wait to speak to you about it. And I've also finished a couple of other books in there. What would you like? Would you like me to have one video just going over like a kind of reading wrap up? Or would you prefer me to do more videos like this where I do a short video just talking about the book and whether I'd recommend it or not? So do let me know if you do have a preference. And I've also been reading some great mangas recently, and I can't wait to update you on that in my next manga video. Anyway, I will leave you here. Happy November. We've only got 2 months to the end of the year, so hopefully I can get a few good videos out to you before the end of 2024. So I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye guys. Can you hear that? That's my cat's toy going on. Can you hear that? I knew that would happen. Right.